Well, I know this pond is forsaken. It can never show the sky as blue. There are too many branches that are broken. I can't find that tree I once knew. And I know that I'll find reason with a silhouette. If I let go, then just maybe I'll begin. Well, I'm trying to skip stones on a river, but I shouldn't get frustrated when I fail. There are too many branches that are broken. We must all burn a brace for the gale. And I know that I'll find reason with a silhouette. If I let go, then just maybe I'll begin.
This is Nothing But Feedback. I'm Amanda Melly, and today we are with Tasteless Jack. So we totally just heard you do a brand new song. I don't remember hearing it, or I heard all the lyrics. I want to know a lot of things about this song. Like, what inspired it? You're writing a lot right now. What's going on behind all that?
So that song was Branches, and Branches I wrote actually while I happened to be at Husky's Pub, which was like the main place where I got back into open micing, performing a couple years back after like a 10-year hiatus of like writing and performing and stuff like that.
Wow.
And I happened to be setting up for a show, and then I think I just happened to play a certain strumming pattern. When thinking of the lyrics, I had recently been spending time at the park with a friend who eventually after that we no longer spoke to each other, and so it was kind of like when I went back to that park, it wasn't the same without them. And it's also about the fact that I had been to that park many times before, because it's a park close to home. It's University Park, and so it's like right next to Clark University, and somewhere that I've been to since I was in 7th grade, since like very early memories out here in Worcester, or out in Worcester I should say, where I'm from. It's about kind of going back to a place, feeling that that place has changed, but maybe it's you that's changed and you're just interpreting it differently now that you're coming at it from a different place, a different perspective.
Introspective.
Yeah. The first line says, "I know this pond is forsaken. It could never show the sky is blue." And that's, for one, literal, because the pond there is filthy. Lots of geese out there. Lots of geese pooping and stuff like that. But it's also, I think, about the fact that it's hard for us to kind of see the good sometimes, even when it's there, right? Sometimes we're looking through the reflection of muddy water, and it's not necessarily looking at the way things are. And sometimes things are brighter than they seem, simply because we're allowing ourselves to fall into a pit of darkness, feelings of remorse or regret or fears, anticipations, anxieties, and stuff like that. But I think that, that's kind of what I was going for with that line. And then it says, "There are too many branches that are broken. I can't find that tree I once knew." And that is about the fact that we're all growing and losing parts of ourselves as we grow. We're not all going to have the same parts of ourselves as we grow. Sometimes we have to let go of pieces of ourselves and grow new parts of ourselves and things like that. And we might not be the same as when we started, as when we end, and stuff like that. So
that's my favorite line.
Yeah.
That's what it means? Transformation.
Hell yeah.
Okay, that's probably why I liked it so much. I didn't even know why, but I believe in all that, and I reflect on the same thing, so I'm wicked excited. And you continue to move me. When I first saw you, I just remember, and I'm not going to say where or who, but I just remember we're in a room of so many musicians, and certain ones are, singing or doing their thing, but then there's certain ones that are connecting and emotive. And I remember you completely like moving me and being like, "Oh, hi." And then I was shy and nervous to even talk to you back then. I was like, and so that was, So how do you, is music therapy for you? Like, how are you putting so much into the music? Whereas I see other artists, I think they take it from another place. And I think I love the buffet of it. But me personally, I think I'm similar, and I think that's why you move me so much. So I want to know, what is behind it? Like, what is this?
You nailed it on the head with music as therapy for me. And I know that, like, in some sense, it's a little bit much because I make myself a little bit too vulnerable in that sense.
No way. No way.
Well, no, it's easy to know about, like, what heartbreaks I'm going through with who, if I'm writing about heartbreaks and stuff like that. So it's like, it's really, it's kind of hard when you're putting it in that sense, but it is also cathartic, of course. You're being able to like put your heart on the line and then see what comes from it and stuff like that. I think I've done it since I was 15. how to play guitar to get a girl's attention, and then played the guitar after I lost it. And then, so it's kind of a pattern that I've maintained well over 20 years. So
Yep. Oh my
I figure
gosh.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Heck yeah.
And no, a lot of it also is like comes from a place of me just trying to interpret my own feelings, reflect, not being afraid to reflect, even though sometimes it's harder to sing some songs other than others because it does kind of take you back to those past feelings and those past emotions. But I think the more you sing that song, I think that, and I've said this before, I think that the when you play a song the first time you wrote it, and you play that same song 4 years later, it's not going to be the same feeling you had 4 years later as like when you first started playing it. You're not going to have those same emotions. It's going to be completely different. Like you might have written it from a place of pain or feeling trapped, or feeling like completely just useless. Then you 4 years later, it comes from you're playing and you feel empowered, you know, and you feel like a little bit more like vindicated in that sense and stuff like that.
Well said.
So I think that when you're writing your songs, you kind of get that bonus of seeing how that song can be interpreted in its early days, and then seeing how that song is now later interpreted later. I think I kind of get that feeling with The Right Place, because that was a song that I wrote as well way 2 years ago, only just starting to write and starting to I remember I used to struggle with the words to that song, and now it's like people's favorite song.
It's my favorite song.
So,
it
yeah.
is my favorite song.
So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and so you're about to play. I'm gonna hear it. We're gonna hear Right Place.
Absolutely.
All right.
To me, oh, I never happened to be at the right place, oh, at the right time. The leaves are all losing their green, the floor is a bloody sea of red, but I know what's right now. The sound of the wind in the trees is opening paths to melodies that I've never heard. No, I've never heard before. Oh, I'm sure the seasons will change and many things will be the same. I'm not sure that. No, I'm not sure that I can. Not sure if I can change you too. And I doubt that you can change too. I'm not sure if I can change you. And I doubt that you can change too. Whatever happened to me? Did I ever happen to be right at all? Will I ever see all the pride that blinded me? The sound of the rain on the pavement is drowning the pain I've had lately. Harmoniously, I'll savor its serenity. I'll count the nights and the days till I'm finally in the right place. But will I ever change? No, I'm not sure I can say. I'm not sure if I can change you. And I doubt that you can change too. I'm not sure if I can change you. And I doubt that you can change too.
And you guys just heard Right Place. I want to say that is my favorite song from you.
Yeah.
I get excited every time I hear it. I hear it online. I see it out. Tell me about this song.
Hell yeah.
Like,
So the Right Place, that was a strumming pattern originally that I had come up with when I was playing outside of Clark University. And Clark University is like just a couple of blocks from my house, and somewhere that is attached to the high school that I went to, University Park Campus School. So it's somewhere that I grew up around my friends from 7th grade on. And so coming back there after moving back to Worcester, it was kind of like helping me ground myself back with music and stuff like that. There was other musicians around in that space with other college students and stuff playing music as well. So I kind of vibed with that, kind of inspired by their music as well. And I started to go to shows and see friends play at Ralph's and stuff like that, friends of friends, and started to get inspired by them. And I was seeing the seasons were changing. And so a lot of the song kind of talks about the fact that the leaves are changing, and it's also the inspiration behind the strumming pattern. So the strumming pattern is 4 different strokes, and it's meant to represent the 4 seasons of the year. So it's kind of like you're building throughout the year as the song goes, and it's about also realizing that as much as like the year goes by, as years go by, you're never going to be the same person, right? Mm-hmm. And I think we all struggle to change, but I think we're all constantly changing at the same time, which is kind of like a weird little paradox. I think a lot of us naturally struggle with adapting to new changes in life and stuff like that, but it's something that we're going to do regardless, right? So even though we think we're not really good at it or prepared for it, we do it, and therefore we do get better at it. I think that there's going to be things in life that we can't control, losing loved ones, losing friends, and things like that. Whether it be to death or just to you changing and seeing different paths and stuff like that, and seeing things differently from each other. I think part of growing is accepting the fact that you're going to have new circles every day, and sometimes that circle grows and sometimes that circle shrinks, but it's ultimately up to you what that circle is and whether you even have one, because I didn't really have a circle, I think, before I started to play music. I didn't really have a group of friends like that, but music is what allowed me to make a circle. It's what allowed me to grow friends. It's what allowed me to learn how to make friends and put myself in vulnerable positions because I'm playing things that affect me, that affected me, about me, and I'm seeing others do the same, and seeing others put themselves on the same line, on the same stage, in front of that same microphone that I am, completely play to completely room full of strangers every single time. And so the Right Place is definitely helped me also develop a sense of understanding that you have to be there to be there. You have to be at the right place at the right time, and if you're not there, you're never going to find the opportunities. And I think life is about maximizing opportunities, and if you're not putting yourself in a place where those opportunities can find you, then obviously they're not going to hit you. But I think we're all constantly surrounded by opportunities that we just refuse to either see they're there, or we're not putting ourselves in a place where those opportunities can actually reach us and stuff. I think if I'm going to be on stage in an open mic, it's probably going to open up an opportunity to maybe get an opportunity to play with somebody else who might see me there, or somebody else to open up another place that I might want to play as well, and things like that. So opportunities breed opportunities. Good things come from good things.
Cool.
So yeah,
I love that. I follow a similar philosophy. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So everybody's like, "Oh, you're so lucky," and I'm like, I prepare myself so that if luck comes, I'm ready for it.
Yep. Exactly.
And so it's super synonymous with what you're saying, and I'm like, oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yes.
So that
Absolutely.
fist bump.
Yes.
Oh heck yeah! All right. Oh, and of course I love that song so much. So and I also like Seasons, so Autumn Leaves, and just some of my favorite songs.
Right.
But yeah, so that's so reminiscent of it. And it's so funny that a certain line, and now the song that pulls me, and then I resonate with. It's almost like a frequency thing. You just know, So.
Yeah, and I think now my songwriting is kind of taking similar veins of trying to use the energy that I've pent up over like 10 years and kind of letting it loose. It kind of feels like I've locked myself down for a while. When I didn't play music for a while, I think it was largely because of the fact that I was self-conscious of ego. I don't want myself to get my head grow bigger and stuff like that, and let narcissism take hold and
of course,
put myself. Yeah, it's always been a slippery slope. It's also hard to take criticism and learn how to take criticisms and things like that. But it's something that I think I'm finally breaking free of, and I think that also helped inspire another song, Chains, which is kind of about feeling like I've been locked down, but it's been chains that I myself created. You know, they're all my only restraints and my only limitations are on myself. And that's kind of what that next song is.
That's your next song?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
I have these chains, they're painted colors. They're painted colors nobody else can see. They keep me chained down to the bottom where nobody else can be. There's no light to see, and it gets hard to breathe. So I'll try to sing with any breath left. I have these chains, they're painted colors. They're painted colors nobody else can see. I'll try to be more than a lover, but sometimes a lover's all I can be. It gets hard to see, and there's no air to breathe. So I'll try to sing with any breath left.
We just heard Chains by Tasteless Jack. So I know that energy that you were talking about, you're all pent up. A little bit of that came out in Chains. You're a fireball, but like earthy fireball. Honestly, because you come off like this rumbling earth kind of earthquake, but there's a fire punch behind it. That's your vibe but then again, you were a little haunting in the beginning. You were a little airy. But anyway, but back to Chains. So yeah. What's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
So Chains was kind of like me also being able to not feel stuck. I have to remind myself why I chose the name Tasteless Jack, which is the fact that I don't like to be stuck in one pocket of music. I like to sometimes whisper and do my finger picking and stuff like I did with Branches, and sometimes I like to just go hard with the strumming. And that also comes from my influences, things like Dave Matthews Band, Pearl Jam, Stained, but then also like other things like soft finger pickers and stuff like Iron and Wine and stuff like that. Also more like ethnic stuff, I should say, from like South America. I have the one guy who influenced me named Silvio Rodriguez, who's a Cuban artist who plays lots of beautiful classic guitar tracks and stuff like that. And his finger picking style is something that I really try to emulate or like learn from. So yeah, I have a variety of influences, but ironically, like what I listen to when I'm at home is more like metal. You know, like
you
Polyphia,
pack a
Periphery.
hard punch back there. You got the power that you're conjuring up. So I can imagine.
And that's also like where the vocal influences come from. I grew up listening to a lot of Tool. So like Maynard James Keenan was a huge influence on me. Yeah, like constantly like.
Now I hear it all.
Yeah, my inflections, little things like that. I try to like take from that.
Way.
I'm also learning how to use my higher voice, falsetto, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't even know what that means. Like, is that falsetto?
Yeah.
I'm trying
beautiful.
I'm trying to like get that range where I can go really high and soft, but then also get really hard and powerful in the song. And that's like my sweet pocket. But that said, if I wrote a song of mine that sounds like another song of mine, I feel like I failed.
What?
I feel like all my songs, like, certain artists will get into like a pocket of chords, you know what I mean? And you may be like, oh, this song is the same
Every
four chords,
song
but
sounds the
rearranged in a
same.
different order.
There were a few of us that talked about this last week.
Yeah.
People are noticing.
So it's just like, man, and don't get me wrong, I can appreciate a good 4-chord song. Because I can learn to play it differently. I can learn to sing it differently. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily need to be as like standard or as cookie cutter as they put it out on their original single. So like, even if Too Sweet is 4 chords, that song hits.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because he knows how to use it's the beat.
Yeah, you're
you know,
right.
so it's not so much the fact that it's 4 chords. He's using a beat with it.
Yeah.
So it's ultimately learning how to use things in new ways, and that I like. That's nuance to me with minimalism, to it. You know what I mean? You have a nice way to use a simplicity in new ways. So.
Yeah, well, and you're saying opportunities and stretching yourself out. So you're very adventurous, I would say, in that way. Outwardly, as well as obviously through your music.
Yeah.
It's very synonymous how you approach all of the things in your life, seemingly. All right, we're getting a feel for you.
Yeah,
feel for you.
We're trying.
So I am gonna mess with you now. Sure. I'm just gonna ask you how you feel about catnip and garlic. You think it would taste
I'd
good?
probably be more of a fan of garlic than catnip for that. Right?
Are you sure?
Yes. Oranges might do a little bit better, maybe a little bit more edible.
Orange with the garlic?
Yeah, just in case. I feel like I'm going to be part of a guess what you have in your food segment coming up.
Yeah. Somebody in the studio said it looked like Chopped from the Food Network, and I was giggling because it totally does. But yeah.
Excellent.
So also, I guess I want to hear your next song.
For sure.
Your next song.
Oh yeah,
what do you got for us?
Next up is going to be coming up Weather, and Weather's about adjusting to changes in life as they come. So yeah.
Lots of wisdom.
Oh yeah.
Lots of wisdom. All right.
Trying to stay warm and keep a fire lit in a storm. Miss the ashes to be embers before it passes. I must remember I will survive this. Yes, I see the rain and the clouds, the tempest waning. I hear less raining, the water's fading like summer days. I'll have to learn to change just like the weather, struggling to face expectations with grace. The tensions are rising. It's not surprising. I think I found a dream to chase. I'll have to learn to change just like the weather. I might not be the same, but I might be better. I'll have to learn to change just like the weather. I might not be the same, but I might be better.
That was Weather. And now I know about the falsetto you're talking about. I mean, I've heard inflections. You've got all these vocal textures and inflections, but that was so hauntingly beautiful and lovely and pretty and vulnerable. Okay, sorry, but
yeah, I wrote that probably at the most vulnerable I was. I actually wrote that song on my birthday, which was 3 days after my mother passed away. My mother passed away from cancer, brain cancer, and I was devastated. And I actually just put myself on a live stream on Instagram and just started coming up with what became the beginning of Weather. And those chords just slowly building up and like learning that I was gonna be dealing with life by myself without my mom was a lot to deal with, but Weather was kind of my one big therapy moment of like, all right, put this all into a song, put all this pain, learn how to adjust to it, because life's gonna be unpredictable and it's not about being one person, but learning how to be multiple people when you need to be and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And the community just took you in their arms.
Yeah.
You are, I mean, I see everywhere. I see how much they love you. I should say we. I am one of your fans. As you know, I watch your stuff. I like your stuff. I heart your stuff. Right. I think just the universe is just hugging you and taking that and filling that hole.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. And
no, I appreciate it. I mean, like, I wrote Weather actually with a little help from the people who were tuning into the stream as well. And when I perform it now, it's great to hear people like my buddy Sammy, One World, who is one of Worcester's biggest supporters of local music. He's also the king of karaoke. I'll give him a shout out. He's the karaoke king. Yes. Hearing him sing along, hearing my friends sing along when I'm performing it at the Dirty Jaren Poetry Show, which I perform at on Mondays. I'm part of the house band there, where you can go perform music or poetry and have the house band perform alongside your poetry there if you want.
Wicked cool.
So it's nice to have the community that I found there slowly grow as well. Also, if I'm performing at other spots like Husky's Pub, and their open mics on Wednesdays and stuff like that, still slaps, still get the same looks. Where you have people sing along because they're actually playing your music on Spotify because they're connecting with it like that. That's the difference maker for me. And even though I've put these songs out from a place of pain, it's helped me get love back in return.
Hugely.
Yeah.
Hugely. You're building like an empire.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
no,
That's
but
Papa Breaks
of
here.
love and music, not so like da da da. No, no, no.
Bend the knee.
No. But yeah, no. You've got these awesome shows. I know you've got your Sunset Serenades. You've got vendors going. You've got comedian correlated
so
with
excited
the
for that.
music. I am so crazy excited
Heck
for
yeah.
that.
Yes.
I am like high five, high
Yes,
five.
and you're gonna be there too,
I'm
so
gonna
it's
be
gonna be a
there.
good
The
time.
community's gonna be there. I mean, you have so much support, and you deserve it.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. You're incredible, and yeah, you got me all
Well,
emotional.
my philosophy is rising tides raise all ships. So that's what we're doing. We're rising the tides here. Yeah.
You are bringing everybody up with you. I just want you to know
It
we
helps.
see it.
It helps
and,
keep your ego in check when you
You
bring others
I know
alongside
you've mentioned
you.
this twice,
Yeah.
and maybe at some point you thought you
Yeah.
had one, or maybe when you were younger. But I'm telling
Yeah.
you, no, you're so conscious of it. I would say somebody egotistical must have said that to you, and you took it to heart because you're a sweetie. But no. Do I ever get that from you? Have I gotten that from you, or any of it? So
I hope so. That's
you
how
got
we
to put
grow.
that down. You're very humble.
Thank you.
And you're very peaceful, and you're very flowing. So, except for when you're punching us in the face with your music.
Hell yeah.
So, which is a good
Amen.
thing.
That's a good thing. No punching in the
Yeah,
face,
no punching in the-
literally,
no,
for the
it's-
record.
it's-
Full
it's
disclaimer.
moving. It's
Emotional
so-
punching
it's
in the face
emotionally
only.
moving. Yeah, you do. It's in
Emotional
there.
punches.
It's therapeutic.
Excellent.
But yeah, so I guess if you guys want to catch more of Tasteless Jack, he is
Performing.
coming everywhere.
Yeah, I'm going to be performing Husky's Pub soon, as well as Gambrino's Cask and Barrel, as well as Vincent's. And we're going to be starting up a series soon, Fridays for a farmer's market at the Rose Room Cafe. And I'm going to be performing with Amanda and a bunch of our friends, as well as tons of art vendors at Hotel Vernon for the Sunset Serenades Art Market, which is my creation, my first one of many. So it'll be
It's
awesome.
already,
And
that's
hopefully we'll
many
make
of
it a
many.
beautiful thing and yearly thing if it works out.
Yep,
Let's
yep.
keep it going, guys.
You're
You
on
can find me
Insta?
Instagram at Tasteless Jack, Facebook Tasteless Jack, YouTube / Tasteless Jack, and there's actually tastelessjack.com, which I have tons of things on there, like my videos, my collaborations, posters for upcoming gigs with other people, as well as poetry and stuff like that, and dates for upcoming shows. So be sure to check that out.
And Ralph Steiner. I should have said Ralph Steiner. It's one of my favorite one of
yeah.
my favorite places. I can never get up there with you. I've only gotten up
Mondays,
once.
we come a Dirty Jared
So, yeah.
poetry show. All my friends every
And
Monday.
it's super inclusive.
Hell yeah.
I would say one of the most inclusive places I have ever been.
And one of the
It's-
oldest open mics in Worcester. I think
Yep.
I want to say like
Yeah.
16 years.
Yeah. That's where I like to go when I just need to just be. And nobody's gonna judge you.
Hell yeah.
All right.